Ladies and gentlemen, Lou Diamond Phillips. Lou, photo. Thought we went over this. Should have blocked it. It's time.
Oh, we're actually on time?
We are on time.
Oh, that's crazy, man. Not always my thing. The media guy. It's always the media guys. How you guys doing? You look very beautiful. Just got here early this morning. Thrilled to be back. Gorgeous city. Absolutely beautiful city. We filmed the Bats here. Yeah, believe it or not. Sam, Texas, filmed in Utah. There you go.
Hollywood magic.
Indeed. You guys have changed your beer laws, I hope. So, yeah. No?
You can get beer in the supermarket.
All you got is 3-2 beer?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God. Thank Oklahoma. Oklahoma got us not 3-2 beer.
Oklahoma did it, huh? Well, they did something good.
The one thing that welcome back to FanX. How you been?
Yeah.
Having fun? Yeah?
Actually, having lots of fun. I mean, it's always about the people, man. It's always about the fans. And I've said this many times. These cons to me are like one big stage door. You know, whenever I've done theater, it's always wonderful to go out and meet people who have just experienced, you know, the same thing that you did. And you have that. That's something that's special to you. And when I meet people here that have seen, you know, films or television shows or even theater stuff that I've been in over the years, you know, it's something that we've shared, and we actually have a chance to you know bond over it in person, which is pretty wonderful.
It is great. And don't forget, guys, if you have a question, feel free to line up in front of the mic, and we will get to you in a couple minutes. First, I have to get this out of the way. You're a military brat.
I am a military brat. Yeah, I was born on the Naval Air Station Subic Bay, the Philippines. Yeah, and traveled around like a couple of years in a different place, you know, throughout, you know, my life. Until we finally settled down in Corpus Christi, where there's a Naval Air Station there. Went to junior high school, and then went to college at the University of Texas at Arlington. So I'm a Texan by osmosis, hence the Oklahoma jokes.
Acceptable in Texas for 6 years.
Understood.
My first assignment was in Austin. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, once again, great town too. And the mayor of San Antonio, Military City, is a good friend, Mayor Ron Nirenberg. So always doing what I can to support our vets. Recently gave away a dinner at Tribeca Grill, which I co-owned with Bobby De Niro. Bobby's probably original guy. He's probably hello, open a restaurant. You're good.
As long as he's not cooking.
No, he's not cooking. He's just doing a lot of eating. It's all good. But at any rate, yeah, we gave away a dinner for homes for vets with Jake Tapper, who got me involved in that. And I just did. We'll be seeing him soon. A bunch of PSAs for our disabled vets. So whenever I can, you know. Absolutely.
Let's quick trivia.
Oh, trivia. I didn't study.
It's all your trivia.
Oh, thank gosh. Keep for someone.
You worked at Whataburger.
Oh, hell yeah. I didn't just work at Whataburger, sir. I was a crew chief. I was an employee of the month. I was a Whataburger meister.
You met your wife filming a Radio Shack.
Indeed.
Radio Shack.
Well, I know. I wish they'd come back. Yeah, no, it's true. We met in Vancouver, Canada. My wife Yvonne, she was probably the premier hair and makeup artist there. What's so funny is that, I mean, I don't play guitar. I don't know if any of you know this. I only do it on TV. I literally had to learn all of the notes by rote for La Bamba in a week for 16 songs. And the same thing for the ranch. I played guitar on the ranch. The difference with the ranch is that's actually my voice singing. In La Bamba, it's David Hidalgo. But, God, what was the original point? The original point was the Radio Shack commercial was a Spanish language only, on the Spanish stations, which is why, very few people saw it. But I don't speak Spanish either, So I just acquire all these skills for the amount of time I need them to get by.
So yeah, you don't speak Spanish. You Filipino American.
Yes.
I saw a quote. I can't get the exact quote. I couldn't find it, but you said something to the effect of, "You are not a native actor, but you have native heritage or genetics." It's how does that play in something like Richie Valens? How does that affect your mindset to go into that? Because it's not necessarily your, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I'm of mixed heritage. I said it in Easter Sunday, and this was an actual ad lib.
Oh, that's enough. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm Scott Irish, but did Mel Gibson put me in Braveheart? No.
Oh, that's interesting.
But and I got Scandinavian. I mean, I'm part Viking. I look damn good in a kilt too. But from my early age and being in the military, military brand, moving around, I never sort of, felt like I was part of one community other than the military community. And when I became an actor, in theater, I was doing everything. I was doing, comedy and drama and the classics like Shakespeare or Moliere and, modern day, dramas like, Mamet or whatever. And so I learned to build complete characters and to do that sort of research, and I applied that to my film work as well. And being ambiguous brown, I ended up, especially in the 80s and 90s, representing a lot of marginalized communities and trying to do it with a great deal of respect and pride. And so whenever I was, able to represent a Native community, and I just literally had someone at the table say thank you for, my representation of indigenous peoples, because I try to get it right. For Henry Stanley Mary Longmire, I flew myself on my own dime to the Lame Deer Reservation in Montana, to meet with the elders, to do ceremony, to go to the high schools. With Richie and his family, I spent probably every day with them, and got their endorsement. So for me, as an actor, I mean, first of all, it's just my job. But second of all, my heart is in the roles that I play, and I do them, and I try to treat them with respect, especially if they are representing, a people's way of life and their culture. And I want to get it right, and I've done an amazing amount of true life films, like La Bamba or Stand and Deliver, or the 33 about the Chilean miners, So for me, no, Metal Tornado was not a true story. Fortunately. But I sure liked Ottawa. I was just there. They got good beer. Are we seeing a trend? But anyway, yeah, I hope that answers your question about how I approach the roles and how I've been honored, to play those roles. And as a result, I was actually adopted into a couple of Native nations. I've been adopted into the Lakota Nation and the Cheyenne Nation as well.
That's very cool. Last piece of trivia. You were also adopted honorary Latino.
Yeah, I'm Latino adjacent, bro. But I mean, once again, back in the day, man, I marched with Cesar Chavez. I fasted with him. Many people don't know this, but Filipinos are the second demographic in the United Farm Workers Union. So, we, especially in this day and age, folks, and not to get too high on the platform here, but we need to be allies to each other. We need to look out for each other. We can't get into tribalism and look after our concerns only. I think we as Americans, need to look out for each other and take your needs into consideration with my needs. You know, I think it's an important thing.
100%, 100%. Let's go to a question from Mr. Metal Tornado.
Okay, I have a question for you. What was it like working on Metal Tornado with the actors, especially that teenage son and that father who worked in the laboratory and the Metal Tornado in Paris? You know, what was that like filming? Making that film?
First of all, the kid who played my son, it was ridiculous. He got into an accident the first week of filming. They had the right amount of scenes, and they brought him back at the end to like pick up 3 or 4 scenes so that at least it made sense. It really sucked because it was a big opportunity for him, and I think he went drinking again. Here we go. Went drinking with some friends in Ottawa and fell down an embankment. Just ridiculous, you know. Yeah, he had to heal up before he came back. But I mean, I get asked this question a lot about sci-fi, and I love doing sci-fi, but you know, whether it's like Supernova, you know, that I do with Angela Bassett and James Spader, and, oh my head going right on my head, or you know, Stargate Universe, it's always strange. I always get asked questions about the process, and guys, the process is it's so crazy. Because you're going to stand there and you're going to stand in front of a green screen and I'm going to go, okay, there's this big storm coming and all this stuff is blowing around and there's nothing there. And you got to do all this acting, you know, and you got to commit to the bit, I like to call it. But, you know, if the special effects end up being bad, you end up looking really stupid. And one of my first nights when I realized that, you guys didn't see Ed Wood, where Martin Landau played Bela Lugosi, right? Amazing, fantastic. I'm in Magna. Anybody here know where Magna is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go. So we were filming Bats on Main Street in Magna, Utah, on the day of the Magna Day Parade with Miss Magna, the whole 9 yards, man. And so, you know, we're filming, and everybody hung out. So at like 2 in the morning, the director, Lewis, a wonderful guy, I mean, I think he really elevated the film quite a lot, as did George, the cinematographer. He comes up and he goes, okay, here, you got a clip, oh, you got 13. And by the way, there's only one real bat in that entire film. Everything else is CGI and puppets. No real bats in that movie. So he goes, okay, they're swarming Main Street. Everywhere you shoot, don't worry, you're not gonna miss. You will hit a bat, all right? So empty the clip, but you know, one is gonna get your hair, and then you're gonna dive down, you're gonna roll into the pickup truck, and you're gonna shoot some more of them, you know, and just empty the clip, okay?
Hollywood magic.
Hollywood magic. So there we are, and now meanwhile, there's 500 people who were there for the Magna Day Parade, and they're watching this, and I'm standing there all alone like a one-man show in the middle of Main Street, and you know, and action. Right? And when we finished, I crawled out from under the truck, and all of the people there standing ovations, and I felt like Martin Landau's Bela Lugosi wrestling a rubber octopus. It was like, I'm a grown-ass man, and this is what I do for a living.
But they pay you.
Very well.
And there's beer.
At that time, not
tonight.
Not so much.
Thank you.
I'm a huge Bonfire fan.
It is a beautiful day at the Red Pony and continual soiree.
We're preparing some admission just for that.
Could you tell me your favorite story from shooting Love?
Oh my. There's so many. I became very, very tight with that cast. Love that cast quite a lot. I just saw Katie. I did her podcast like 2 weeks ago, and you know, hear from Rob every once in a while. I mean, and I'm very much in touch with Greg Johnson still, the author of the books. I have a book coming out November 19th, which is a sequel to The Tinderbox. Thank you. And Craig was instrumental in helping me write the first one and encouraging on writing the second one. Okay, so, 3rd season, I think it is. 3rd season, and we shot this in Santa Fe, New Mexico. People don't realize the high desert, the operative word there is high, okay? As well, you guys well know, you're in Utah. So it's in Santa Fe, New Mexico. What is it, about 7,700 feet, altitude, whatever. We're coming from, frickin', ocean level, in Los Angeles, and they scheduled this fight scene with me and Robert Taylor. Literally the first week that I'm there, and it's Chris Chulak directing, and it's the big fight scene on the runway out in the middle of nowhere with A. Martinez, Night Horse's plane coming in, and I'm trying to keep him from killing Night Horse, right? First of all, I'm 6 foot tall, okay? I am the tallest young guy. Look carefully, folks. They put me on the shortest horse, and I'm always standing in the back, and it's not an ethnic thing. Look at the frickin' poster. You can't see the bottom of my feet. They lowered me like Lord Farquaad to be level with everybody, So I'm used to being a tall guy in Hollywood. The freaking Longmire cast, Rob's like 6'3", 6'4", Bigley Chase was 6'2", and even Bartley is like a little taller than me. So all of a sudden I'm freaking Hervey Villachez on Fantasy Island. And so we're doing this fight scene, and Rob is solid. He's like wrestling the freaking oak tree. And it's a fight scene, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we'll break it up, we'll do, a couple punches and No, Chris Chulak has to do it from top to bottom the entire time. Every take, top to bottom. I can't even bend his arm back. And it's killing me, man. And Chris, Chris Howell was our stunt coordinator, and he's Thomas Howell's dad, from The Outsiders. This real cowboy. He comes up to me after like take 6 and goes, "You want some oxygen?" No, I'm trying to be all tough. I used to smoke at the time. I no longer smoke. Cigars. Was it, little brandy and little scotch. At any rate, I said, no, I'm trying to be a tough guy. And he took one look at me and goes, "Oh, no, you're going to get some oxygen." And that's like the first time I've ever...
Always trust the stunt guy.
Always trust the stunt guy. Yeah.
He gets paid so you don't die.
Yeah.
Is how that works. Thank you. Speaking of others, okay, Walmart. It is so weird. Did he break character between takes and become English again?
In the first season, because he's Australian, he lives in Melbourne, he gets his flat Australian thing going, and then like between takes, I reckon that was all right then, and I started doing that shit back to him. And he's like, he is bigger than you, right? Quite a bit. And he just realized about halfway through the first season, he just dropped it. When he showed up in Santa Fe, he would just drop the Aussie and let that go, so that he wouldn't like slip into it in between takes and whatnot. So he just talked like this, the entire time he was there. Kind of put on his Clint Eastwood filter. That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so first off, one of your movies that isn't discussed enough is Disorganized Crime.
Well, thank you.
So I love that one. But my question is, under the napkin, I know you've done cooking things such as Celebrity Cook-Off and whatnot, with like Rachel Ray, I know you know Joey Fatone and all that. What is your favorite thing to cook and why? And why is it so special?
Wow. Okay, multi-layered answer here. First of all, I'm going to see Joey, what is this, the 26th? I'm going to see Joey next weekend. Yeah. I think it's a surprise, but if you have anybody in Orlando, Florida, I'm going to be popping up on stage with Joey to do a couple of tunes. So, might be one of those Spanish, here's a bit of a rattlesnake songs.
Hopefully Orlando is still there.
Yeah, there's that. I think it's going to miss it though.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I'll be down at Epcot Center next weekend. And so I love Joey, and yes, I love cooking, and I think that's how they figured out to have me on, and I've judged Iron Chef a couple of times and everything else. I tend to love things, and there's no one specific dish, and that's one of the reasons why I won, is because I cook a lot of different cuisines. But I tend to love something that is going to be, first of all, take up all day to do, and that, is going to feed, a posse of people. I just love that. On Longmire, I would cook Sunday dinner probably every 2 weeks for 20, 25 people in the cast and crew. And so Michael Offer, who was one of our favorite directors, every time he would come, first question out of his mouth, what did we cook with? Lasagna, I do, my turbo ribs were award-winning on that show. It's a lot of stuff like that, so I changed it up.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I watched you for decades, loved you in Prodigal Son.
Thank
Thought
you.
it was like the best.
I was so heartbroken when they canceled that.
I was
I was surprised. I was really, really surprised. I was literally, and they approved a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
What network approves a cliffhanger that cancels you?
What network was that?
Fox!
That was your answer.
Exactly. And so, for sure, I think we're getting a third season.
Yeah.
The big question was whether Michael would come back, which is why they left it that way, because Michael wasn't sure. All right. So I'm literally getting on the plane to go film Easter Sunday in Vancouver, and this is ridiculous because it's a cameo in the movie. I play myself. I filmed for 2 days, but during the pandemic, I had to quarantine for 2 weeks. I had to go and stay, little hotel room for 2 weeks to film for 2 days. And as I'm getting on the plane, I get a call from Chris Fedak, the executive producer, and I'm totally, hey, Chris, when are we going to work? Because I think that's what the call was all about. Okay, we're gonna be back at the end of July, blah, 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 blah. And there's a pause, and he goes, Lou, they canceled. He says, oh, that's hilarious, dude, seriously. When are we going to work? He goes, no, seriously, they canceled us. So, that was heartbreaking.
Fox.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, but I interrupted your
Oh,
question.
no, that's okay. Okay, so I had two, but I'm going to save this one first. Who is a coworker that you just really miss? Like if you wanted to call somebody, you're in that town, you want to call them up and go for drinks. Him or her?
Okay. After Disorganized Crime, by the way, if Fred Quinn found out I was in New York about coin, he would track me down and skin me. I loved that man. We became very, very dear friends. Loved him dearly. Kiefer, I run into him all the time, so it's always like, hey, what's he up to? What's interesting though is, I travel so much. A lot of times, it's more about the friends that I have outside the industry. That I'll call. I was just down in Corpus Christi, my old hometown. Went and shot pool with two guys I've known since junior high, and we've stayed tight and stayed close. That's a 50-year relationship, which is ridiculous. So it's mostly folks like that. Yeah.
Thanks.
You bet.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I used to live in the Philippines, and I don't think this audience knows how important you are to the Filipino people.
Thank you.
And when I saw you on the Cleaning Lady episode, I saw quite a bit, and I'm wondering, did you think your popularity increased from doing that portrayal of the Filipino?
What's interesting is I think there's just more awareness. And by the way, it's a fantastic question. But the fact, and I'm going back and I'm directing another episode of Cleaning Lady in November. Nice. So back to Albuquerque. And thrilled with the diversity that we have on that show. What we're seeing now is more representation. Long ago, the only time I ever got to play Filipino was I wrote a movie called Ambition, and wrote myself as Filipino American and cast the amazing Dr. Hang Snor, who was Cambodian, as my father. But that's why I ended up, representing so many other different groups, because they weren't writing movies about, Filipino Scott-Irish dudes. You know what I mean? So then all of a sudden things shifted a little bit. Believe it or not, there was an episode on Prodigal Son where we were going to reveal that Gil Arroyo is actually Filipino, and I chose the name. I gave them a list of names, and the name Arroyo was actually because I'd been to the Philippines in 2004. Brought over for the work that I did for the Filipino war veterans and trying to get their benefits back. And I was given a lovely citation from the then president, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So there was a little nod to her in that name. But, you know, Easter Sunday, that, an animated show called Firebuds, where I play, you know, I voice the dad who's a Filipino fireman. You know, we're seeing more specific representation these days, and so, you know, I'm able to be a little bit more visible for that community. Meanwhile, thank goodness, while still sort of, you know, representing, you know, other communities as well.
The ambiguous brown.
Well, I used to say it's like the UPS motto, you know, what can brown do for you?
And then I just have a follow-up. What time are we going drinking tonight?
Who says I haven't already started?
I got a credit card with my limit. Let's go.
I know what Kiefer was here.
If Kiefer was here, yeah.
He did not wait.
No, he didn't. And you can always tell when he's a little into it, because all of a sudden this Scottish would come out and he'd start talking like, I love you. And let's go get on a horse.
I want to take one just real quick, if I may. 1 second. I checked IMDb real quick, and I couldn't help but notice that your first 3 credited roles on IMDb are thug, street thug. It's a step up. Richie Valens. So you're 87.
Yeah.
You know, La Bamba, Stand and Deliver, Young Guns.
Yeah.
It's like, so you went from thug,
Yeah.
to Jesus, he's everything.
Yeah.
What did that do to you? What was that like? Did you wake up in the morning and just be like,
You know, I have 2 stories to tell about that, actually. I'm so glad you brought that up. No, it's funny, when I was living in Dallas, and that's where I started my film career, and being an ethnic actor in Dallas, you know, once again, ambiguous brown, most of my auditions were for thug, street thug. I used to keep a switchblade and a red bandana, you know, in my car, because it's like, oh, another audition? Ready? You know? Yeah, no, I terrorized Linda Gray and the season opener of Dallas, and she was so kind to me and became such a good friend. And when La Bamba came out, she goes, I knew you were going places. What a classy, wonderful lady. And I directed Patrick Duffy in Love Takes Wing, and he was such a wonderful man. I got to be good friends with Larry, you know, so it was, yeah, it was quite the experience. So yeah, I land La Bamba out of Dallas, Texas. They fly me out for a screen test. It's craziness. And 2 stories. Number 1, we did a premiere in Watsonville with all the farm workers. And Helen Mirren was the wife of Taylor Hackford, who's our executive producer and directed the 2nd unit, and you know, all of the above. And after the premiere, Isai and I got mobbed. Literally, you know, shirt ripping, hair pulling, mobbed. And we get to the back of the restaurant where we're having this reception, and I sit down next to Helen Mirren, brilliant, amazing lady. And I went, oh God, maybe one of these days I'll get used to this. And she went, oh no, dear boy, don't get used to it, because then you'll think it's normal. And the other one is that I was with Danny Valdez the Thursday before La Bamba opened, and we're having a couple of years, we're seeing a track, and he says to me, he goes, we're giving you the keys to the candy store. Don't rot your teeth. You know. So I mean, but fortunately, I was already 24, 25 years old, and you know, growing up in Texas to a military dad. So I kind of knew what was not going to get too full of myself. Thank God.
did Dad keep you straight?
Oh, Dad kept it totally real, always. You know, boy. Now he grew up in North Carolina, he lives in Texas, and he talks like this. Well, you did all right, I guess. Shut up, we're going fishing.
There you go. Thanks, Dad. Sir, how's it?
¿Cómo está, Bob?
Hey, thank you, bud.
Huge Stargate fan. I love the character that you did in Stargate Universe. Watched it so many times, enjoyed it so much. But I have my wife here with me today. My wife is from Subic Bay, born and raised.
Hey!
And we're actually going back there in June.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be my first time there. I was wondering if you could tell us anything that you remember from Subic and along the way.
Oh my! Well, first of all, it's just beautiful, and it's been far too long since I've been back, and I know that there's some people trying to get me over there now for like a film festival and some stuff, and we'll see if I have time. But it's just, once again, the people are so ridiculously friendly, such warm, kind, compassionate people who love to laugh and love to smile. And, you know, I'm sure they saw all these mics and thought we were here for karaoke. You know, it's, and the Filipinos can sing. Let me tell you that right now. I saw Arnell, who's the lead singer for Journey now, and holy moly, boy, that man can sing. And so much energy, you know, so just crazy. It's a beautiful country. Get out to the beaches if you can. And I have such amazing memories. Because I was born there, left, went back from 70 to 74, so spent some formative years there. So yeah, and I cook a meat adobo and a meat pancit, by the way.
Yeah, Filipinos are the best.
They love to eat.
Yes, yes indeed.
Hi.
Hi.
Me and my family are big Psych fans.
Yay.
Can you tell us about how your character and how you came to be on Psych and how it was and why you took your shirt off so much?
Are you complaining? Are you complaining about that part?
No!
I'm just checking.
I took it off once, but I might have seemed like a lot more to you. Especially when freeze framing it.
Just saying.
I'm always a little amazed when I get a random call, you know, especially for comedy, and almost always I'll say yes to a comedy without even reading the script. Because it's actually what I cut my teeth on. My first professional gig ever was with a sketch comedy group called the 0 Hour in Fort Worth, Texas. We would do, you know, like really raunchy Saturday Night Live skits in a punk bar at midnight. Zeros in Fort Worth. And if you weren't funny, they threw shit at you. So, you know, it was a good training ground. Psych, it was just, you know, once again, it's like, you know, there was a friend of the producer's like, does Lou do comedy? He's like, well, yeah. And, you know, the character was, you know, like really sort of, you know, straight-faced. A bit like the character that I did on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you know, which I loved as well.
I'm rewatching that now.
Okay, well, you'll come across my guy, you know, I like my ramen, my soups. Beef, baby. Picante beef, street flavors, you know? So it always cracks me up when somebody requests me. And I'm Emmy nominated for comedy, so that's fine. But both of those experiences were similar because James Roday and Andy Samberg are given carte blanche to ad-lib. And so they're doing something new every take. I don't think I got through a single take on either one of those shows. They had me in stitches, and I'm supposed to be the straight guy. It's just so much fun and so funny, and you know, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I will be recurring on a new HBO comedy. We haven't started filming yet. It's called The Chair Company. Tim Robinson is the lead on that. He's just fantastic. So I think we're going to start filming in the spring.
Thank you.
Yes, it's very tall. There we go.
Got it.
Would you sing La Bamba with me?
Did you say with you?
Yes.
With you. All right. We gotta do the first one.
She's only getting away with this because she is adorable. Nobody else tried this.
What's your name? Everly. Do you have brothers? Thank you. Somebody got the joke. Thank you. Here's a bit of a rattlesnake. Se necesita una poca de gracia, una poca de gracia para ayudar a ti, ay arriba y arriba, ay arriba y arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré.
Nobody else has had adorable.
Cute girls, the bane of my life, fun little daddy.
Oh, first world problems, isn't it?
This is a question from my grandma in the row. She's a huge fan, and it's really simple. She just wants to know where your favorite place you filmed was.
Oh my. I've been to a number of them that I absolutely adore, and a lot of them are considered like vortexes, you know, just energy. They tend to be very spiritual. Santa Fe is one of them. You know, filmed not only the Longmire series there, but both Young Guns 1 and 2, and maybe 3. And so, yeah, there's rumors floating around. So I love Santa Fe. Cape Town, South Africa. I did a mini-series called The Triangle there, and a shark movie called Red Water. I actually went on shark cage dives twice, closer to a 15-foot great white than you and I are right now, so that's crazy. I live in New York City now, so I have a very soft heart for New York. After Prodigal Son got canceled, my wife and I, we just decided to stay there because it's kind of a cool place. But yeah, no, I've been very, very fortunate, and wherever I've filmed adds to my life experience. You know, like being on top of a glacier for Agaguk, you know, for Shadow of the Wolf, and just shy of the Arctic Circle. You know, filming up in Iqaluit, Northwest Territories. So a lot of these places that I've gone, I've come to love and keep wonderful memories from. In Bogota, Colombia, where we did the 33, and the Atacama Desert down in Chile. Just amazing experiences. You bet. Thank you.
Okay. We all have our favorite TV shows that have favorite theme songs. Like, I can name a billion. If Blue Diamond Phillips had a theme song. I can tell you mine.
Oh, sure.
I get by with "Will Hope for My Friends."
That's you know what? That's a go-to for my life, 100%. You know, love that. I'm still standing. Yeah. You know, that's a good one too. But yeah, and I used to love those theme songs, man. You know what I mean?
I played the Fall Guy for my son last night. He's never heard it before.
Of course.
He's watched The Llama, and he teases me because my name is Donna, and like my entire life, everybody has said that song to me horribly. So now he teases me and sings it to me.
There you go. There we go. Oh, Donna. Nice.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I don't really have a question, I just have a couple of comments.
Okay.
Thank you for being so personable. A few minutes ago, that was awesome. And because I am a U.S. Army combat veteran, thank you so much for supporting veterans.
Always, sir. Always. Thank you.
Disorganized Crime is one of the most underrated comedies of all time. And I wanted to know, when Nick steals a car, you run out, I think you know where I'm going with this. When you trip on the fence, is there, and you don't break character, is there a story behind that? Or
there is. I was young and stupid.
It didn't involve beer.
What's that?
It didn't involve beer.
No, fortunately not. I usually wait till closing time. Usually, you know, when you clock out. I wanted to do it. You know, they were setting up a one shot. I looked. I thought, oh, that'd be funny. And I was doing. They cut some other slapstick stuff that I did in the film. I don't know why, but that was one of the problems with it. Yeah, it was interesting because we had Jim Calhoun was our director, but our producer, his name just escaped me, but he had done a Stakeout with Emilio. They didn't know what tone to settle on, you know. It was pretty. So I was either doing really slapstick stuff or really more like heist stuff, and they couldn't find the marriage to it. But at any rate, I intended to do that, and I put on pads. I put on knee pads and elbow pads under my costume, and one take. When I ran down, and then Fred Gwynn and I think it's Ruben, go running back up with me. Did the stunt, got back up, and once they yelled cut, Fred went, I thought you broke your neck. And Jim Calf, the director, comes running to me. He says, you okay? And I showed him the pads, and I went, no, I meant to do that. And he went, whoa, it was great.
The stunt guy was so proud of you.
Yeah, and it makes all the trailers,
They weren't expecting it either.
They were not expecting it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's not professional.
Thanks, yeah, you bet, brother. My pleasure. Hey.
Can you say hi to my friend Lugo? He's in the hospital. He's trying to come, but he didn't make it.
Sure, man. Was it? Are we on video now?
Yeah, I'm recording. Send it to me.
Yeah, go ahead, do it, man. What's his name?
Jared Lugo?
Jared Luco. Jared, he's in the hospital?
Yes.
Jared, come on, dude. Seriously. You know, we're all here. You couldn't make it. Oh, the hospital. Oh, I gotta go to the hospital. All right, sure. Whatever, buddy. Feel better, get better. Everybody say get better to Jared. All right, buddy. Peace. You bet. Thank you.
Man. I'm not messing with this mic. I was 8 years old and I watched a movie on Disney Channel called Dakota.
Yay.
And not only did I fall in love with the movie, but I thought you were one of the most beautiful humans I had ever seen.
Oh, yes, that's me. Me and my mullet.
That has never changed. You have been in so many things that I have loved, including obviously Stargate, Longmire, Wolf Lake, that I'm still sad about.
Yeah, me and you both.
You were a bucket item person for me to be able to meet and say thank you. But it makes me wonder what your bucket list, either role or person, you've met so many amazing people.
I have, and you know, I've learned, there's certain things that I would like to do. I'd like to go back on Broadway. I'd like to direct, you know, a big film. And by big, when I think big, God, give me 20 million, give me 30 million. You know, all the films I've done are like, you know, million, 2 million. I don't need to do a Marvel kind of thing. That's not on, you know, my radar. But I want to continue what I'm doing. And there's certain people that I wish I had met, or you know, I didn't get the chance. You know, I mean, I'm partners with De Niro in the restaurant, but I've never worked with him. You know, sadly, I don't think Jack Nicholson's going to be making many more films, so I won't get the chance to work with Jack, or I should say, Jack will get the chance to work with me. You know, Meryl Streep. I mean, there's some people that I'm just over the moon with, and I think back on, you know, there's some people that when I first started, was there a chance? The Katharine Hepburns, the Peter O'Tooles of the world, you know. One of my great joys was that I got to play poker around, and God rest him, he's gone now, a man named Norby Walters would have all the old cats. You know, and I was the kid, which was amazing. Even when I was 50, I was still a kid. But you know, you had Ed Asner and, oh my goodness, Charles Grodin was there, and Harvey Keitel, and Rod Steiger, and Charles Durning, I mean, James Garner. I mean, I played poker with all these guys. And they were, well, the one thing that was similar with all of them is that they were just working actors. They were journeyman actors. They never set out to be stars, but they became them. And they were, you know, they were always about, hey, you're working, and that's all they needed to know. They didn't care how much we get paid or how big the movie was or whatever. Are you a working actor? And there was, with as much star power as there was around that table, there was a lot of humility, which was always really instructive for me.
Well, I hope you know you belong in that list of the actors you just named.
Thank you very much.
Stand and Deliver, Edward James Olmos. The great Edward James Olmos. Quick sidebar, I spent 15 minutes talking to him at a con, and he will talk about anything.
Oh yeah.
Pick us up.
And he can.
And he can, yes, and he can. If you ever get the opportunity, take the time.
Yeah.
It's funny because it feels like he's been exactly the same from Stand and Deliver to now.
Yes.
He was born that age, and he will die that age. But it's second movie, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was my second movie in Hollywood. And the funny thing is, I was running, I got paid $6,000 for the long run, you know, scale. Yeah. And I gave half of that to my mother. So come December of, Rel Richie would have. So come December of '86, I'm almost out of money. I'm gonna have to move back to Texas. And I landed a guest spot on Miami Vice in an episode called Red Tape. And in that episode, Viggo Mortensen is my partner, and Annette Bening is the girlfriend of the bad guy. I mean, it's ridiculous.
So that job doesn't suck.
Yeah. And so I had one scene with Eddie. Eddie had done Zoot Suit with the Valdez brothers, Danny and Luis Valdez. So he knew I had played Richie, and he knew that the movie was coming out. It had not come out yet. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't come out until August of '87. And after we do a scene together in Miami, he says, Lou, what are you doing next month? Well, nothing, you want to have lunch? You know? And he goes, no, I'm doing this movie, very important movie. Yeah, you have to be in it. Yeah, I want you to be in this movie. And he gives me a number, and it's the director, Ramon Menendez. When I get back to Los Angeles, I call him and we meet, and that's how I ended up in Stand and Deliver. So, you know, that was...
You hit my question, call him. Everyone calls him, what did you call him on set?
Oh,
Eddie. No, really, is that?
Yeah.
Because that seems like the kind of guy he is, that's why
That's very true.
Okay, we have 5 minutes, so we got a few more questions? Yeah, for it.
How did you like your time on set in Fear the Walking Dead?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. First of all, huge fan. And to be able to direct an episode was great. We shot it down in Austin, Texas. Got to do such cool stuff. I mean, I was excited to go to work every day. I will tell you this, young man, if you're ever directing in Texas, or in the summer here in Utah, or in the summer in New Mexico, Gold Bond powder is your friend. I learned things about parts of my body that I didn't need to know. I didn't know how far up chafe could reach. All the way.
Let's go.
Hi, big fan. Especially in your early years, right? It seems like you had a lot more cockier roles. So, in the big hit, how did you like working with Mark Wahlberg?
Let me tell you something. Big Hit is one of my favorite roles of all time.
Yeah, I love it.
It's all about love, baby. Just crazy. I mean, Jay Kirk Wong, our director, you know, and John Woo was our executive producer. You know, I mean, just one of the first Hong Kong action films done in North America. And what was strange about it, it was a Hong Kong hip-hop black comedy. Nobody knew what to do with it. I mean, people get it now, but in '97 they were like, what the hell is this? And Kirk would just let me do, no, you be funny today. I'm like, well, I'm killing people. Yeah, I know, you be funny.
Do it fun. Make it fun.
Make it fun. So, yeah, and then every once in a while I could hear him from the monitor go, too much, come back.
Thank you.
One more question.
My question has to do with the big head as well. Your wielding of the knife.
Yes.
How long did that learn?
Okay, well here's the beauty of feature films, which is different than television. You get a little advance notice, okay? So, first Young Guns, I say put rings on the Bowie knife. Never seen anybody do that. So I thought if those guys are gonna twirl guns, I'm gonna twirl a knife. Second Young Guns, I said, John Fusco came up with the idea of the bolo knife, two-bladed, right? And I'll show you. I said to the prop guy, Peter Rankins, that I've already worked with on the first one, I said, build it the length and weight of a drumstick so that I can practice at home with both hands. And that's what I did. When we got to set, the metal one was the right weight and length. The plastic ones were too light, they wouldn't twirl. So I had to use the real ones the entire time, and every time there's a couple of nicks here where I would nick myself. So Big Hit comes along, and they go, "We want you, with knives again." And I'm like, I thought, what else can I do? And I worked with a wonderful trainer, still a very dear friend of mine, Daryl Chan, who was introduced to me by my dear friend Brandon Lee. He introduced me to Daryl for training. I introduced him to Jeff Cadiente, who doubled him. So we were all really tight. And it was Daryl who said, "Go Filipino style, man. Go blades inside," And I thought, okay, if I put the rings on the back of the knife instead of on the hilt, then I could twirl it in the end and do all that, really cool stuff that we did. And so I'm the one who came up with all of that. And the funny thing is the Chinese stunt guys they brought over from Hong Kong had to learn how. And anytime
I had to train the stunt guy.
I did. And anytime there were close-ups of the hands, they would have to, I'd have to do it because the other guys hadn't gotten it down yet.
Awesome. Thank you. We're out of time. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here.